Rise and shine. Grand rising today. Will from Yugen Bliss, The Road to Happiness. Just having a conversation, people. That's it. In my car where it's quiet. I think I'll just wait to see if a few come in before I get started. It's basically what it is. Let's talk. What's on your mind? Is there anything going on with you? I'll be right back. I gotta go for a second. Hey, I dropped in like that. How everybody? Hey, what's going on? So I got a few questions that I want to ask the general public, really. And I'd like to get your honest opinion. The first question is, what do you want most out of this life? What do you want most out of this life? Joe Olivia, here and here. Hello from Brazil. Thank you for coming in. And Allie, thank you for saying hello. Thanks for coming in, guys. So the question is, what do you want most out of this life? Because we all know we're only here temporarily, right? In this vessel, according to, I don't necessarily submit to the idea of society's idea of life and death, because it's completely different to me. But I'm asking you guys the question. The next question is, what is the purpose of your life? Have you ever sat down and asked yourself, why am I here? What is the purpose for me being here? And it can't be just because you want to go out and buy material things. And there's got to be some form of purpose why each one of us are here on this planet. And that's just a question I just want to generally ask everybody. What is your purpose here in this life? Number 3, what do you want to live? How do you want to live? How do you want to live this life? How do you want to live your life? And then the last one was, who am I meant to become? And all 4 of these questions are very, very, very deep. And they're not just a question that you can just blurt out to somebody. It's something that's going to take some thought. And I put a little thought in all these my whole entire life. I've always wondered since a young child, what do I want the most out of this life? And usually these questions are only ones that you can only answer standing in the present, standing right where you are right now, and forgetting about everything that's around you, but really seriously asking yourself this question: what is it that I want most? And every time I ask myself this question, the answer is always the same. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to be more loving and kind than I was yesterday. And I want to gain more spiritual truth in what love really is and how I can apply it to this world and in my life. Yeah. And then the biggest question is, who am I meant to become? I am it. I'm already here. So that question's already answered. You're already here. You are what you become. But you have to understand that if you're not in a good space right now, and you're not where you think you are, then you have to understand with great dignity and respect for yourself and be honest. What can I do to change where I am right now? What can I do differently that I'm doing that I want to stop doing? It's kind of important to understand that we are in control of this vessel, this cell, this battery they call a body. And it's very important to understand that it's not what it is. It's what our eyes have been taught to see. And we have to remember that it's an illusion. This world that we live in is the greatest illusion that I've ever experienced. And my example for that is, I know someone's asking me, what do you mean by an illusion? Well, an illusion is, have you guys ever seen those mirages like out in the desert? I've never been in the desert, but I've been driving down the road on a hot day, and you can see the movement on the hot sun. It's the heat generating off it, but it looks like waves, right? That's an illusion, because once you start driving towards it further, you realize that it's just a heat wave over the road, right? That is a form of an illusion. That's trying to trick your mind into thinking there's something there moving in the road, but there really isn't. It is. It's energy, and it's radiating the heat from the pavement, but it's just making a wave. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but I've seen it many times. And another example is if you're watching CNN or any newscast or news feed, and you watch One Pacific One, take a look at the topic of what they're actually talking about, and then go check another news feed and see if they're talking about the same way, if it's the same thing. Because everything is not what we see it to be. It's far deeper than what it really is. And I know that I'm getting really deep, and there are some people out here that may not understand what I'm trying to say. But it's a part of these questions that I'm asking you. Do you think you really know yourself? Because I really don't know myself completely yet, but I'm working on it. I'm working on it every single day to figure out where is it that I fit in? What is my purpose here on this planet? And what is it that I need to do to be better than I was yesterday? These are questions that I ask myself. So I'll repeat the questions again. I know that there are some people in here new that didn't hear them. The first question is, what do I want most? So what do you want most out of your experience here on this earth plane? Number 2, what is the purpose of my life? What is the purpose of your life? What is it that you have a desire to do, but never thought you could ever do it because of fear? And you ended up settling for something that you did because it was the first thing that came along. These are a lot of the things that I'm kind of asking, just questions in general. Number 3, how do I want to live and feel? How do I want to live and feel in this life? Because I know my answer is I want to be loving, and I want to be kind, and I want to be happy. And I want to instill that in whoever's around me. Number 4, who am I meant to become? Who are you meant to become? These are questions that only you can answer yourself. And I feel I'm following my purpose and who I've meant to become, because I am it. I am it right now. I am a form not as great as the higher, but I am there. I am there, you know? So, very good questions. And it's a good start to every day to be able to ask yourself, what is your purpose and what is the plan that you expect to become? If you were able to design the very best life for you, do you have a picture of what that is? Have you ever written it down? The perfect thing, the perfect way you'd like to live your life. And mine, in many cases, is just being free and healthy and well. But just having the sense of freedom are very important to me. Being able to follow the responsibilities that you do have in an everyday life, but having the freedom and the happiness knowing that there's nothing tying you to anything. We're all detached. I'm detached from the sense of the neediness from others. I'm detached from the sense that I have to love everybody equally. I'm detached from that because everything is different. I can still love, but everything is within my understanding of what love is, you know? But we can detach ourselves from that codependency, having to be led by someone else's or dictated by someone else's motivations. These are things that that are my freedoms. So, let's take a look at this book that I've been reading and looking at lately. The name of the book is The Best Possible Life, and it's by Jim Murphy. And it's basically how to live with a deep contentment and joy and confidence no matter what. It's helpful. I'm not going to say that everything that he's saying in this book is something that I agree with, because to me personally, just reading it a little bit, it's fundamental. I don't know if you guys understand what that means. It's more mainstream. You know what I mean by that? It's not really necessarily outside the box. It's a religious book. But I'm very interested in all kinds of religions, because I find myself very more aware and understanding of things if I can be a little more understanding of different parts of where people are coming from their religious perspectives. So I like to learn about all religions. And this book's an example of that, I guess. And I'm going to read you something that he has in this book that maybe it could be helpful to you. And the thing is, the book is The Best Possible Life. How to make big decisions. What do you have when you have a big decision to make? Here's an exercise that might help you or me. 1, get your notepad. Yeah, that makes sense, right? We got to go get something to write something down. Or a journal. I have both. I have many notebooks that I've written down many poems many times. So anyway, number 2, and this is where it has a little controversy in some of the stuff that he's written from my perspective. It says, turn on some worship music. And then 3, just listen to it. Well, this can pertain to anybody, right? But I would have probably put anything that resonates with you kind of music, because, and I'm not nitpicking, I'm just saying to neutralize and not specifically genreize someone that's reading this. And then number 4, I really love this one. This one says, soak up God's love. And that's just standing in peace, right? Being with God. And then number 5, thanking him for all he's done for you. And that's just showing gratitude. You know, showing gratitude and appreciation, not necessarily using the capital G, but just showing gratitude in general. Showing gratitude for your fellow man for being nice, that opened up the door for you that day or in the morning, or someone that said, you know, generally hello. You know, those are things that you have to kind of like give gratitude for. Number 6, if any ideas come, write them down. So if you're in the middle of the day and you had a journal, and I kind of do this, I do this now just naturally. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, because I am on a spiritual journey on there are things that need to be written down that you could write poetically in something. It could be just a phrase. It could be something that someone said that you could add to a poem. So I use that quite a bit. The exercise of just writing down a thought. It helps me. So there you go. There's 6 ideas if you want to make a big decision in this book that I've been taking a look at, and just observing really, and just reading it for what the words are, and then letting the expression of what I've read allow it to make it feel something for me, so I can maybe get something out of it, you know, physically, you know what I mean, that I could use as a benefit. Yeah. It's an interesting book. Yeah, I'll give it that. I haven't gotten too much into it, but I'm also reading. I keep one book. This one's kind of not giving me the greatest feeling. So I'm being honest with you about the feeling of the book that it's giving me. It's kind of telling me to put it down. So I'm putting this one down, and I'm going to show you another book that I take with me in my car, and I've been reading in this quite a bit. And it's an interesting book. I know that people, you with an open mind, I think you'll kind of see. I've gotten quite a ways in it too. I'm on page 165, and this is a huge book. And like I said, you can never judge a book by its cover, and it's a big book. But again, this book is kind of different because it's kind of in text form. Like it's someone talking as being a text. For an example, I guess the roundabout way is it's a human being on the planet having an experience with an extraterrestrial from a different timeline and a different planet, and they became friends. Extremely interesting. It's interesting. So yeah, I'm interested in different things. I don't have a specific genre of books that I read. I'm spiritually motivated, which means I tend to lean towards things that are put in front of me that have a resonation in a positive way for me to take a look at. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to get at. Wild Edibles, how you doing? Good day. Grand Rising. What a beautiful day it's going to be here in Maine. 74 degrees today. Bright sun. I'm definitely planning on going to the lake today. And if I do go to the lake, I am going to go live because it's just a majestic place. And I think being around that live and showing that expression of the majestic part of it is helpful for other people too, to see the beauty. I agree. You have to find what fits in your personality. That's for sure. Last night I was watching a podcast on Joel Goldsmith. I don't know if he's a spiritual, I call him a philosopher. He's into theology and stuff. And he created his own religion called the Infinite Way, which is branched off from the teachings of Mary Baker Eddy, of Christian Science, with Science and Health with Key to Scriptures. And Joel Goldsmith was one of Mary Baker's students. Okay. He practiced with Mary Baker Eddy, or her teachings, to create his own religion. And I find him extremely fascinating in the similarities of the polarity of either one, but both of them. But they're both uniquely different in their own way, because it seems like Joel Goldsmith really brought it to the new age of religion, so to speak, more on an individual level, which is what Mary Baker Eddy tried to express too. But then again, I'm so interested and taken back in a lot of ways that they're so similar. And I'm talking about Goldsmith and Eddy. But they're completely different because of the time and the age that they developed this wonderful religion they developed, So, yeah, Cool Lake sounds nice. Yeah. Water's still warm up here in Maine. Lakewood is a shallow lake. Sorry that I got off topic because of the comment. So it stays warm a lot longer. So it's going to be nice. I hope that it works out for me. But anyway, the comparison that I tried to use yesterday, and Joel Goldsmith and Mary Baker Eddy, you can tell that Goldsmith learned a lot from the teachings of Mary Baker Eddy. And it's plain to see, coming up with The Infinite Way. His books are fascinating. I think anybody that wants to go out and try to search Joel Goldsmith, go for it. The Infinite Way is a great introduction if you're learning or trying to get into your own spirituality or learning how you can create your own. So that's a perfect example there. So I just want to say good day to everybody that's in the chat. I appreciate all the 4 likes. Generously, and humbly, if you're coming in to check out my chat, please hit the like button. It helps the channel and it gives that motivation to keep rolling on, even though, me as a person, I don't allow certain things like that to get me down, because I need to look forward to the greater plan that's happening and that is. So, hey, DJ Top On, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Hello. Good day or good evening or wherever you are. Appreciate it. So yeah, like this is a general talk. To be honest, it's hard for me to do a video of what I'm doing like I used to. To me, it's more important to sit down and do something that's more personal. Something that you guys on the other side of the camera can say, hey, I can relate to this guy a lot better. Saying things that that may be a service to us, myself, and you. You never know. You can never tell, something that you can do throughout your day. If I counted all the things that I did so loving and kind, I think people would think that it was outlandish. Because normally a person, as myself, I go out of my way because it makes me feel better. And it brings greater joy to me to go out of my way to do something that can bring something, maybe a greater ease to someone's day, or to relieve them from something that they had to do that someone else could help them out with. To me, that's a pleasure and an opportunity that everyone should take. And to try to serve others and to try to love others as we love ourselves. And we show that by being the example of loving ourselves, by loving others. So, the experience in this life and what I'm trying to get out of it is just to try to be in the present and try to experience the whole experience of being in the present and being present, being whole, being complete, and knowing who I am. I know I can ramble sometimes, and it's probably something that gets off the beaten path sometimes, but I'm just rolling with my thought up here, and I have constantly something coming in all the time, and it's just the management of what is the right thing to do, what is the right thing to say. It's just consciously being aware in the sounds of the present. And there's a great poem right there, sitting in the sounds of silence, being present is so important. And my advice, I guess, and this is just advice, is not argumentative. This is just something from me. Take it or leave it. But we all vibrate at our own energy, and wherever that may be. Allow that vibration to be in the present so you can allow yourself to vibrate in 432. Go outside your home. Take a walk in nature barefooted. And another advice is, in the morning, when the morning dew is right now, this is a great time to go out there and start just running your toes through the wet grass. It helps. And it's something that eases the soul from anxiety and stress. Just my advice. You guys can do whatever you want, but deep breaths and breathing. Yeah. What is it like here in Maine? I guess that could be a question that someone might want to ask. And to be honest with you, to answer that honestly, what it's like to be in Maine, my experience would be completely different than yours. And what I mean by that is I get that same feeling too when I go to another state. It's not the same feeling that a person that lives there has. Um, it's more of an excitement feeling, new. The body sees it differently than someone that actually lives where they live. So, my experience, and I can only speak from my experience living here in Maine, is it was probably the greatest gift that was ever granted, really, in so many aspects, because we have such a beautiful state. I'm talking about the state. We're not talking about politics and economics, okay? This has got nothing to do with how the state of Maine makes me feel. And it makes me feel like I'm at home with the changing of the seasons and the opportunity to be able to do things outdoors, to be able to make I lost my train of thought. Just being outdoors and hunting and fishing, but there's more to Maine than just that. There's more than Maine. There's the Rocky Coast. There's a lot of opportunity here, not necessarily for independence. It does. It gives you freedom. There's a sense of freedom here. There's a sense of being able to believe what you want to believe without being forced upon others, because we're so rural. Our state is more woods than it is people. And I'm grateful. The state of Maine could honestly, in my opinion, could honestly be self-sustainable. I don't believe that we could, or we need to have the aid of most things because of the people that make up Maine. We're battle worn, we're weathered worn. It takes a special person to live here in Maine, and probably in other places too. And you only gotta want to be here. I've seen people come and go that thought they could live here, but once the Maine winter comes around, their thoughts and ideas change. So what is Maine like? I guess you're gonna have to come to figure it out yourself. Look me up, because I could probably be one of your guides. Someday. That's one of my dreams. I'd like to start maybe a travel guide service to be able to accommodate people, to show the wonders of Maine and take you places that you never thought you'd ever see from a resident's perspective and not a vacationer's perspective. Because a lot of people that come here only go and see specific things that Maine's named for. A resident like me that's lived here all my life, I have opportunities to show you secret places that are just as majestic with less people. The greatest thing that Maine is to me is the serenity and opportunity and freedom. Are those three things. That me, I can, if I had to define Maine to me, that those three things are what it is to me. So, hey, Life with Trisha, how are you? Good to see you. I tried looking you up on YouTube the other day to try to subscribe to you, and I'm having a difficult time doing it because you changed your. I don't know if you changed your channel or what, but I gotta look it up. Life with Charger. Okay, I gotta do that. I'm trying to make it a conscious point for the ones that are regularly coming in to see me. Are the ones that I'm taking mental note to when I get an opportunity outside my busy day to come and see you guys. And more than likely lately it's been in the mornings. I do live a very active life. So personally, mornings are my busy times. Getting two children ready for school, making sure their snacks are put up and packed away, and then I drive them to school. So if I get up a little bit early, I tend to go and check out people's stuff. And if I'm not doing anything during the evenings, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to look at people that come in and see me to show my appreciation towards you guys. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I know there's a lot of people that do watch me that are awake right now, and I completely respect that. And I completely understand the guidelines of YouTube, and I've completely not attached myself to the commitment and promises that I'm going to go see everybody. Those days are long gone, and I commend anybody that does that still, because it's hard work, and you put a lot of time and effort into that. And it's easy to convert your life into being YouTube. Playing, I guess I'm saying it that way. I've learned to manage it at this point, and I can't control what people's feelings are towards that. That's totally out of my control. I know there are maybe some resentment. I can feel it. I can feel the people's energy, whether they want to agree with it or not. They think they're hiding themselves. Well, let's face the facts. Even if you don't know somebody and they hate you for no forgotten or begotten reason, it's completely out of your control. If they have that reason, I hope they have a good reason, because eventually it'll eat them up. And I've learned to let go and surrender to and forgive those that feel that way towards me. And I guess now it's your burden. And I don't mean that in a negative light. I forgive you for that. So my daughter just texted me. See, this is how this is a perfect example, guys, that this is why I don't plan my life. I have to go with the flow. She needs a ride home from work. And I respect that. I'm not doing anything right. I mean, yes, I could be selfish and say, no, I'm not going to do it. Find someone else to do it. But not making yourself available when you're available, is that really doing what God's work really is? Maybe if you think of it this way and quit being from a selfish perspective. And sometimes selfish is good, right? But when I'm not doing anything and I'm happily willing and able to do something for somebody, then why not do it, right? So, yeah. It's allowing them to have a better life for themselves. I mean, she wouldn't be going to work if someone didn't give them a ride. So I'm doing something good for somebody. The other thing that you have to be consciously aware is make sure they're not taking advantage of that kindness. And that's important to understand, is just because your generosity and your love is real, don't let someone mistake it for weakness, because it's your greatest strength. Just be humble about it, as I am. So I'm going to text her back real quick. Yeah. So there, yeah, all done. There's one good deed done today, and this is what I'm trying to get at is if you're walking in the righteous and you're walking in the talk and you're doing everything the right way, the way that do unto others as you want them to do unto you, and you hold true to that, how can you go wrong? Yes, you're going to have mishaps, but living in your own light, standing your own ground beside God himself, how can you go wrong? And whatever that is, again, my journey is not your journey. We've crossed paths on a level energetically for some reason today. So we have more in common than we don't. So much more in common. And and what I'm saying, why I'm saying this stuff is because someone needs to pick up the torch that Charlie Kirk, unfortunately, it's fallen. And we can't stand here and mourn. We need to get up and do hard work. And we have to do work that other people don't want to do. It's the work that the hard sweat off your brow and the courage and the bravery. We need to stand up and be counted and be held accountable for who we are and whatever actions that we commit. And honestly look ourselves in the mirror and be honest with yourself. What the heck can I do? What can I do that's far more than what I'm doing now? Rebic Song Music, where are you from? I'm from the beautiful state of Maine in America. Now, I use America. I know people can use the United States, but there's two definitions of America, in my opinion. And that's a long story. But yeah, I'm here in America. I live in the most northern part of the United States, America. It's called Maine. I'm about an hour from Canada, from Quebec, Canada. Question mark, where are you from? Good location. Yeah. My state is 90% woods. It's a very rural state with natural beauties, waterfalls, pine trees, and all kinds of nature. Good question. I'm glad you asked. Thank you for inquiring. I think it's also. I think we have to make it very clear too to ourselves and reinforce the fact that we are divinely protected. I am divinely protected for today and forever. And I'm also extremely grateful for my divine protection and appreciate that. And I show that I am grateful by doing and continue doing loving and kind things day in and day out from a pure heart. And that's unmistakable. There is no doubting that part of me. And that's extremely important to find within yourself too. So, and again, it's just advice. Take it or leave it. Just like my description. Wild Edible says, great talk. I was making breakfast. Okay, so what are you making for breakfast today? Because this is another thing that I've grown to do too is through my health and wellness process, I've been doing it for a few years now, and I intermittent fast. And then I actually do other things where I fast for 2 days or 3 days. And then I change it all up. So my diet, my body is always confused. It doesn't know when it's going to eat. So, and I found this mentality and this perception just doing research on our lineage and the human race and how we all started as hunter-gatherers. And just common sense brought me to the conclusion that these guys didn't eat every single day. You know, they ate and they gorged themselves because they didn't know if they were going to eat for a week. So I decided to implement that mentality of hunter-gathering to my diet, into my food process. And it's made a huge difference in my life. So, for what purpose you use YouTube, for money or for sharing experiences or fun? Good question. I'm not using it for a monetary value at this point. And I really haven't. I was hoping someday to be able to do that. But at this point in my life, YouTube is a perfect example or an opportunity for me to be able to meet people around the world and create friendships, and to be able to share my poetry and my writing, and maybe create a legacy for my grandchildren someday. And it's fun. So good question from Arabic song music mix. I'm hoping someday that I can make some monetary income from YouTube, but I'm at a point in my life where there are things that that are more important than just the notes, and it's my true currency. And I realize the value is me, and it's my currency. I create the currency that makes money. I give it value. So Wild Edible says, homemade, no extra sugar. I use a bit of maple syrup. That's yummy. That's good because I've got a pile of maple syrup still from COVID. Because during the COVID sickness area time, I call it the plague. It was during the time of harvesting maple syrup, so I did that. I harvested a bunch of maple syrup. I harvested some birch syrup that I still got. I got like maybe a gallon or 2 gallons left of birch syrup. And if anybody knows what birch syrup is, it's the white birch trees. You can tap them; they got syrup too, but they do not cook or boil at a high. It's a lot harder to do than maple syrup, and it takes a lot more to get what you need to get, and it's so hard to burn birch syrup, and then it's no good. But birch syrup is a very good source for people with diabetes. You can use it. It's good for you people that have blood sugar, insulin issues. So, yeah, I got a bunch of that still, but I use it for cooking, for baking. It's a great sweetener. If you don't, it's a little bit bitter. It's more bitter than maple syrup. To me, it leans towards more like the backstrap molasses kind of, if it's overcooked. It's still usable, but it's hard to do birch syrup. It's hard, and I messed it up. I'm not going to lie. It's a little, excuse me, it got a little burnt up, but it's good if you got a sore throat or a scratchy, itchy throat. It's just like cough syrup. It's bitter, but it'll work. It's definitely a form of medicine. It's a tincture that you can use. If you don't have honey, maple syrup is the next best thing to use. It's got a lot of health benefits to it. So, yeah. It's nice, yeah. Huge. Oh, hugs is the currency right now. Yeah. It's so much that we can do without if we could just reverse the thought that we were taught. There you go. There's another poetic word. If we could reverse the thought that we were taught growing up as the world is perceived to our grandparents and our parents and whoever came before us. If we could ever reverse that way of teaching and try to learn in a new way, I think we'd be all completely surprised that the world the evil elites are trying to present to us is not even close to being the truth. It's so fear-based. It's so fear-driven, and using the word fear is their way of trying to keep everybody under their thumb, is to say that you have a lack of something. And they use money as fear and all that crap. So I think once you get the gist of what I'm trying to say, hey, souls, how you doing? Good to see you. Good point. Unlearn. You have to unlearn it. Even everything that you were taught in your school system was taught from a governmental perspective on what they wanted you to know. I'm tired. Yeah, you probably stayed up playing your favorite video games again. Yeah, I remember. So yeah, it's probably why you're tired. Well, I'm glad to have you in here today. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by and participating, and that's awesome. Thanks. So yeah, unlearning what we were already taught and trying to self-educate yourself is a challenge. But it's been a challenge that I've been willing to do for the last going on 10 years probably. And self-development, self-realignment, learning more about the self, learning the power and the strength of who we really are, getting to know who William is, learning to love myself before I love others, learning to love myself unconditionally, giving myself a little bit of a break once in a while because I'm my worst enemy, allowing myself to make mistakes and allowing myself to learn from them, learning that, yes, we all have a natural responsibility to take care of our own selves with our own health and well-being. It's being self-reliant, not leaning on a codependency, not leaning on your significant other, allowing them to be able to go their direction, you go yours, but still being together in coexistence. It's important to realize that the reason that we are with each other's significant others is because we enjoy to be with them, but we're individual, our own selves first. We love ourselves. Hey, Givelin, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Good day, good evening, and grand rising to you too, my dear. And wherever you may be. I actually stopped in on your live this morning earlier when I first woke up. There's an example of what I do, guys. I mean, if you guys want to go see who I am, why don't you go ask the people that I go and see? And they'll tell you who I am. They'll say if I come in or not. So there's a good example. Thank you for coming in and stopping by. I appreciate it. I'm getting ready to end the live too because I've gone over 50 minutes. I might make it to 60 and just say it's all right. Today was a good day. I appreciate it. I had 6 people in my live today with 5 likes. I'd like to see 6 and 6, but maybe I will in a minute. Which is funny, you know what I mean? Numbers. You want to know what Owen's pickup number is? Oh my word. That's Owen's pickup number for me today. That's awesome. So I'd like to see that number or that thumb light going up to one more button so I can see it. Oh, look at that. 5. That's okay though. I'm good. Oh, it's all good, man. I know that's just being what it is. Anyway, thank you everyone for coming in today. A new friend come in today. Hello, friend. Norma D. Lemon. How are you? Thanks for coming in. And it's good to see these people from Philippines. It's nice because it's late there at their house, at their home. It's probably, 9 something at night at their place. So thank you for coming in and taking the time and Tissa Vili Norma. Okay, thank you. You're a special friend, and you dropped by when I really needed a positive friend. Um, See, this is the key to our purpose here too, is if we're in divine alignment, we'll be divinely connected to the ones that are divinely needed to us. And it's amazing how it all works. Um, Especially, have you ever had that thought like you were thinking about somebody and you wish they called and they end up calling? That's what I'm talking about. It's that kind of energy. Um, but I'm always in that. I want to be in that level, man. That's where I always am. I want to be at the right time, at the right place for anybody available in need, for myself or others. And being like that, being awake and aware, it's amazing. I want a cup of coffee with you, but it's a dream only because I'm far away. Well, is it a dream only or can it be reality? Depending on the opportunity that you give and that comes or arises, I believe anything is possible. With opportunity, possibility is real. So, Arabic Psalm mix, I believe that all dreams come true, just not necessarily exactly when you want them to. They come in divine order. So I like that. That was a good question, but I had to reverse that thought that you have because dreams do come true. And I would love and enjoy to have not maybe a cup of coffee, but maybe a cup of tea. I don't partake in caffeine products. That's okay with me though. And I'm perfectly fine with buying someone a coffee. I kind of generally do that once in a while. But no, let's just be honest with ourselves. I don't want to put limitations on anything that someone else is thinking. Now, I could take your comment and run with that and be depressed about, oh, it'll never happen. But from my perspective, anything is possible. Right. Exactly. Thank you. What a beautiful day. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm excited for the opportunity to go to the lake, man. All I got to do really is change my shoes. I could probably go with just these on too. I got a pair of socks on and some flip flops. It was chilly this morning. I think when I woke up here in Maine, it was 42 degrees. So we're on the brink of frost. So we got to start thinking. Anybody that has crops and gardens, you got to start thinking about covering stuff up. And 42 degrees in town is completely it's different than it is in town too. I just noticed the suburban areas and living in town and being out in the country, the weather is a little bit different. Been connected to Toy Diz Ninjago. Okay, I don't know who that is, hon. Anything is possible with God. Yeah, well, with God, anything is created through you. Does that make sense? You need that higher power for him to work through you. So I agree with that. Looking good. Hey, April Showers, how are you? Purple rain, purple rain. I love it. I love April Showers, man. She's amazing. Her and her friends, I watched a couple of their shows, man. It's just amazing. Do you know what the violet light really is all about and what Prince was really trying to express was the idea of Saint Germain. Prince was a special artist. I love music too. So April Showers, thank you for coming in and thank you for the compliment. You're looking good too. You're looking beautiful as well. Thank you for saying that. How you doing? Wild Edibles just said something too. I gave so much to Sunday. God. Hey, you got to give to something, because if you don't, you're going to fall for anything. So I believe that you be you, and I love you unconditionally, no matter what. As long as you're doing things in a respectful and loving manner and doing God's work in that way, and then there's no problem with me. We have to understand that God's light is only love. It can't be anything else. And you cannot cave yourself into the negative light of anything else around you. You return negativity and hatred with love that God gave you. Period. You can't sit there and argue or debate with somebody that you can't change their mind. God is real. God is love. God is all. And there is no second guessing that with me. So I'm glad that you gave Sunday to God. I appreciate that. And that should be the reflection of who you are and in your love and your light. So thank you. Thank you for making the comment too. I appreciate that. The clarity, and let's be clear in where I stand here. Okay? I'm not going to nitpick anybody's religion whatsoever. So please don't nitpick me. That's what I'm begging you to do. Because you're not going to be prepared for what my knowledge is towards religion and how I feel about people that do that. It's not right. Because we all have the right religiously to worship whatever way that may be. Okay? And I'm not getting defensive, and I'm not getting personal. I'm saying this with all the love that God's given me to express. There is no difference in worship. The difference is how you perceive it and how you demonstrate your worship and whatever that may be. And then that right there gives man judgment on you. Okay, so let's be pleasant, let's be loving, and let's be kind, right? And give respect where respect is given. Sunday I went to church, went to the altar, and gave everything to God. You have to surrender. You have to surrender something. You have to. And I completely understand what you're saying. And I respect it. I really do. Your inspirational words are special to me. I'm from Pakistan, and that it seems impossible coming to you. But your vibe is so special. If in the future I visit America, I will join you. Well, thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. But just remember, if you want it to happen, it'll happen. No matter what. I love you all no matter what. No matter what I don't demonstrate due to race or color or creed. No, either do I. And we love you too unconditionally. And you're, like I tell everybody, man, everyone's more than welcome here. Everyone's more than welcome here. You know, this is my tabernacle. I choose whatever I choose, and that's fine. And April Showers, I love you with all my heart. And we've had a relationship. And we've been in a relationship, and I completely understand where you come from, and I respect it. And I show love no matter what. April Showers says, Yugen is so loved. Well, I don't know if it's loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved myself because I know that I am loved, and because I love myself. And you have to learn to love yourself before you can love others. And it's hard to be able to show that true love, that God essence that's within you if you don't feel it yourself. And if you feel it, then it's easy to express it truly to others that can see it. I find God in nature. Don't worship nature. I worship God's creation. Good way of saying it. I mean, you can't say it any better than that, right? we find God everywhere. God is energy. God is the air that we breathe. God is life. It's whatever it is. It's amazing. But you're right. You're right. And I respect it. And thank you for coming in and voicing your thoughts and your feelings and your expression of how you feel. Color doesn't matter. We all bleed the same color. We need to love each other. That's true. It's true. Thank you, Wild Edibles, for making that comment. But I think everyone sees the light here in my light. So, I'm a lighthouse, steady and strong, for the world to see my light shine bright. I want to see yours. Rise and shine, sleepyheads. Get your buns up out of bed. It's a new day again. Let's grab it by the horns. Just be the light that you are. And continue practicing loving and kind things day out and day in. And I'm telling you, do that for 30 days, you'll be amazed what it does. It becomes a ritual. It becomes something that's natural. And then God smiles down on you. And miles and miles and miles away, people can see you. Love is all, as is God. Be well, everyone. Take care. And may love be with all you. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. And maybe a secret. I'm not going to make any guarantees, but I might be at the lake today too. So just keep a head out. Keep your eyes out. Maybe you'll see the beautiful lake today too. Okay? Now let's read this first. Some lady thought my husband was homeless in the city and gave him $20 for food. He insisted he didn't need it. The girl insisted she did. Wild Edibles, that's amazing. And, I had an Uncle Wilfred that used to live with me. And that happened to him all the time. We are not wealthy, so it did help him on his travels. Of course, a gift's a gift. It's not bad to not, to be honest with you, some people think it's offensive when you don't accept the gift. And depending on the intentions and where that person's, what is that person trying to do, usually they're coming from the soul and they're doing something loving and kind. So take it for what it is. Love is real, and love is an expression to your husband that day. So it's hard. I have a hard time taking handouts too. It's like a hand up. We have to look at it like that. And it's not a handout, it's a hand up. It's to help someone out when they're in need. And I bet 9 times out of 10, your husband needed that money. You know what I mean? It was perfect timing. So God works in mysterious ways, and he works when we don't expect it. That's why it's called a miracle. It's to completely surprise you, to make you realize that God is real. It's a gift. So anyway, I've been on over an hour, so I'm going to let you all go. I love you guys, and let's do something loving and kind today. Sending love and light. I am a lighthouse, steady and strong, for the world to see my light shine bright. I want to see yours. Yugen Bliss. Where's your road to happiness?